I'm Mark Johnson, the producer of The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There is a producer who once said that if a producer has done his job or her job right during pre-production, in other words, lining up the right people to make the movie, finding the right place to shoot it, finding the right cast to put in front of the cameras, then he or she has done their job until post-production, when you start to edit it and you start to figure out how to market it. And that means if everything's going smoothly, then the producer doesn't have that much to do. I don't entirely subscribe to that. I think, the producer has so much to do, and everything from being a cheerleader to a supporter of the director to the person who interfaces with the studio. And I think that if I look at my role as a producer, and I really see it as the protector of the film really has to be the director's imagination and the director's vision. And you really have to protect that he or she is able to make the movie that he or she wants to make within the parameters, both physical and financial. One of the reasons I did this movie was to see what it was like to produce a movie on this scale. It was very hard for me not to be intimidated by what we were undertaking. You have to take it day to day and say, okay, what is it we're setting out to do today? Because if I looked at it in the totality and said, oh my gosh, how are we going to pull this off? I probably would have ended up in some sort of fetal position, muttering to myself.
I've never done anything like this. Roger does all these big films all the time.
How are you?
Gander, I'm fine, thank you. What do you want to ask me?
How are you today?
As the movie starts to physically take place, there is the comfort and the relief that, oh, we can actually pull this off, or look at that witch's castle, that looks as good, if not better, than what I had in mind. It's always coupled with the attendant reaction, which is, oh my gosh, how are we going to pull this off? How are we going to be able to afford it? The best location to shoot the final battle was high atop a mountain in this most remote part of the South Island. And we had 6 or 7 helicopters ferrying crew members up into the mountains and dropping them off with their equipment. And we had erected a village, a huge tent for catering, a huge tent for the animals, a huge tent for all of the prosthetics and all of the extras to get made up in their various costumes. It was mammoth. I never doubted that we were going to be able to pull it off. I wasn't sure how we were going to pull it off sometimes. I'll give you a good example. The White Witch's sleigh, the first time we see her, is pulled by reindeer. Reindeer do not exist in New Zealand. New Zealand is very specific about what kind of animals are actually even allowed in the country. As much as New Zealand wanted to help us in so many ways on this film, they would not let us bring reindeer into the country. So we said, well, how do we do this? We said, well, what about if the sleigh is pulled by horses? And Andrew looked at us like, what, are you crazy? So you do go through a couple of nights where you say, how are we going to be able to give Andrew what he wants when we don't have reindeer? So we realized we were going to have to do them with computer-generated imagery. And I hate to tell you how much more money it cost to create these reindeer, but that's how we did it.
Let's roll, please, roll in!
We thought we had been in some pretty cold weather in New Zealand, and then we shot for 3 weeks in the Czech Republic just after Christmas, and we were in the middle of snow, and poor James McAvoy was there completely bare-chested in the middle of this real snow. It's one thing to be on a stage with fake snow and be able to deliver your lines. It's another thing to be able to have to walk in this freezing temperature. Nobody ever complained. They realized what they were doing and why they were doing it, and I think everybody loved the idea that physically they were just giving it their all. Andrew has an imagination that continually surprises me. Every time we'd set out to do a scene and I'd sort of have an idea of what it was going to be, and I loved my idea of what that scene could be. Andrew would shoot it and direct it in a way that was different from what I had imagined, in some cases radically different, and I hate to say it, that much better. when I saw Lucy and Mr. Tumnus in their first scene together at the lamppost, and I saw two actors so connecting, and I saw the charm and the heart and just the soul of this movie. And it was, for me, it was a real vision. And I just sort of quietly said to myself, we're going to be okay. This movie is going to be really special. I truly think I'm the luckiest man in America. This is what I wanted to do as a kid. I get to do it now. I get to be involved with some of the most creative, imaginative, resourceful people out there. It really is. It's the best gig in the world. And if somebody came to me and said, "I'm sorry, we've made a mistake, and we're going to have to pay you 1/16 of what you've been making," I would still do it because I can't find anything else that I would love as much to do.